Alright, this is the last video on rendering floor plans in Photoshop. And I just wanted to make the point here, before we continue, that the decision of whether to render with Photoshop versus markers is a decision that you should make based on the concept of your design. So what I mean by that is if you're doing something that is perhaps very minimalist and modern and sharp and shiny, then certainly Photoshop would be an excellent choice to use as your rendering medium. However, if you're doing something residential and traditional based on a style from hundreds of years before computers were even invented, it seems disingenuous to me to use Photoshop to render in that style. So all of that being said, if you get to the end of your floor plan rendering and you take a look at it and you feel like it's just too Photoshoppy, and by that I mean it's too slick and it's too sharp, there is a way to soften it, and that would be using filters. So the first thing you'd want to do is make a new copy. You want to always save a new one because the first thing we have to do is flatten it. We have to get rid of all the different layers so that we can apply filter to the entire thing, because as you know by now, whatever you do in Photoshop, it only affects what's on the layer that you're on currently. So definitely make a new copy, a new file, because you may want to go back later and change something. So we'll do a save as. And I just always name it flatten, so I know that it's the flattened version. Let's say save and say OK. And now we're going to layer, flatten image. And if you take a look over to the right, you'll see that now everything is smushed back onto one layer, just like it was when we first got the file. So now go up to filter and go to filter gallery. And there are lots of different images. Over here you have a preview window. I always like to change it to fit in view so that I can see the entire thing. There's so many great filters and so many different effects that you can get. I'm just going to point out a couple of them. A good one is rough pastel. Tends to give it just a little bit more of a softer hand-done look. If you go under brush strokes, you'll find crosshatch. That's also a good one. Oh, and of course you can change these sliders to change different variations on each one of these. So as you can see, your options are almost endless with filters. Another good one is sprayed strokes, in terms of making everything look just a little more softer and hand-done. So when you get something that you like, you hit OK. It will apply it to your plan. Make sure that you remember both the filter that you used and all of the different variable numbers that you put in for the sliders, so that you can apply the same filter and the same strengths of those variables to all of your drawings for the same project. I think it's extremely important in order for things to look cohesive, that your floor plan, your elevations, your perspectives, everything should look cohesive in how it's rendered in order to make your design concept as strong as possible.